out tonight. Around the league, Kenneth Faried is out again tonight with a hip injury. As I mentioned, Kawhi Leonard will play for Toronto. Later on, Klay Thompson will miss another game with that knee injury. Andre Iguodala is in the lineup despite his back troubles. And Paul George is now a game-time decision. He's missed 3 in a row for OKC with a shoulder issue as they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. First up, it's the Rockets in Toronto. Mike D'Antoni's thoughts pregame.
Scored 32 points. What do you think led to that?
Well, he got off extremely hot and making shots, and probably feeling better a day of rest, and he had his legs, and I was surprised he only got 32. He didn't have a very good fourth quarter. He got a lot more, but played really well.
You said that he's more comfortable starting. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. You have to ask him. He just is, and which is fine. It's no problem with us, but he likes where he is, and we'll keep him right there.
Mike, aside from just both being point guards, something about the way their games have aged, their competitive fire, do you see similarities in Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry?
I didn't know where you were going with that one. Well, every point guard, different characteristics, but they're just two of the top point guards in the league, and Kyle's been there. Chris has been there a lot longer, but both of them can control a game and control it either defensively or offensively. They find a way to win, and they're both real competitors and winners, and that's probably where it kind of starts and quits. They have different ways to solve the problem, but two great guards.
Do you know about Pascal Siakam now that maybe you didn't know a year ago?
That he's really good. I didn't know that a year ago. Now he's really come on. And you know what's funny, because I think this summer some of our players played with him in L.A., and they came back and said, man, that guy is good. So it was not a complete surprise. They knew it, and he's proved it.
You've had a couple teams in a row that really protect the lane, weren't let Clint kind of get the usual catches, and this team probably dropped centers too. How do you feel about the way you guys are attacking those sorts of defenses now, or handling, maybe a better word, those defenses now compared to earlier in the year?
I didn't know we had problems earlier in the year.
But be more specific.
What do?
Clint seems to be passing out of it a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's why we problems earlier in the year. But
be more specific.
What do?
Clint seems to be passing out of it a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's why he has to make the right play, and I think he did that and you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to hesitate sometimes because you don't know if you can go dunk or pass the ball out. But as the game went on, he got better at it. It's like everybody on the team right now just has to make the right decision. If they're in, you pass it out and shoot threes. If they're out, you try to dunk it. So he's just a feel. He'll make mistakes every once in a while, but I think he did a good job last game.
Yeah, James' shooting in the floaters has shot up every month.
Yeah. Well, he's, he got the step back now. He'll add the floater. He'll have a hook shot from half court next year. I don't know what he does. He keeps improving, keeps getting better, keeps getting harder to guard.
Time for winning ingredients delivered by Papa John's Pizza, and 50 points a game is usually a winning ingredient.
Good formula.
That's what James Harden has averaged over the last 2 games while shooting almost 48% and nearly 39% from three-point range. Those are absurd percentages for a guy who shoots as often as he does and is expected to shoot as often as he does and shoots as often he does in situations where everyone in the gym knows he's going to shoot.
I would like to ask a question. How come James Harden never sits because of load management? Does he not ever
Fair question.
into that category? All he does is put all those numbers up there you just talked about, but he doesn't have to sit for load management. How come?
It's really interesting, too, because he's had to carry this team when they've had injuries as much as any star ever has to carry a team. Mm-hmm. And he continues to just show up and play ball every night, night after night, and do what he does. And what's interesting about that graphic we showed, his numbers aren't astronomical from a shooting perspective. It's not like in the last 2 games he's shooting 65% from 3 or anything Klay Thompson-like. What he does is get to the free throw line at an alarming rate. So he doesn't have to make every shot he takes because he's so efficient with his touches. And we've said this before, this is the perfect player with the perfect coach and the perfect front office to truly revolutionize the way the game is played on the offensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. The ideal marriage of system and player. And my point about the shooting percentages weren't that they're astronomical in terms of a season, but given his role and the fact that he's going to be a high volume shooter and the fact that he's going to get trapped and everything else that teams can throw at him, those are impressive numbers.
They are, and I wonder if Mike D'Antoni would say that this is his system, or is it the system that he wound up with because of James Harden being on the team? Because I'm trying to think of another player or two that has had such an unusual style of play that they've developed around him. I mean, even LeBron wasn't, the system wasn't just about LeBron. I think you played a certain way because of LeBron, but this is different with Harden. That's how I look at it.
It's certainly different than his Phoenix teams, and that's the offense he's best known for.
Yeah, and I think Mike would tell you he has tailored what he does to what his players have the ability to do best and what gives them the best chance to win. And that's why Mike and Daryl Morey were such a great blend for each other, because they've got sort of a mad scientist quality to them. Each of them do. And it's what enables someone like James Harden to thrive with a coach who's willing to do whatever works. It's not about his system. In Phoenix, what he did in building around Steve Nash and the way we built the offense around Steve Nash was to take advantage of Steve's particular gifts. And that was something, to your point, completely different than what James does, and Mike's okay with that.
Right.